I'm Rich Goldberg, and we're here at a beautiful Edgemont Country Club. We spent the morning at Brown University, where I spent the last 40 years as a professor of psychiatry. I had my career here at Brown University, over 40 years on the faculty in the Department of Psychiatry. Of course, we're on this beautiful, bucolic part of the campus of Brown University here, although actually I spent a lot of my day-to-day time in a hospital setting. One of the things I'm proud of is, as a result of my programs, I would say, without exaggerating, tens of thousands of people in Rhode Island were able to receive mental health care who otherwise would not have had programs had I not really started these programs. So that feels pretty good as a legacy to have. Played golf since I was 14 years old. But my background was bringing together my interest in golf with a background in psychiatry, understanding how to help people change, a lot of experience with performance psychology, and also spending 50 years with mindfulness meditation and knowing how important that is to focus in golf. So I kind of brought together all of those elements into Dr. Rich Golf, which is a way of helping people learn the key principles of mental golf. Golf, of course, I'm going to walk because it just feels good to walk. And I think walking is part of golf. It's the way the game developed. And so, I understand why people have riding carts and why they need to turn over more rounds. But it sort of saddens me to see how this culture has changed, and people get into a rush and get into a cart and drive quick to the ball and hit the ball and then drive quick to the next shot, and they're really missing out on the rhythm. So that culture of rushing through the game on riding carts just doesn't work for me. Let's say in a 4-hour round of golf, how much time are you actually engaged with a golf swing and hitting the golf ball? Say it's 90 strokes, and that you take even a minute, which you don't take, to hit each shot, so 90 minutes out of a 4-hour round. What about the other 2.5 hours? What are you doing? If you're out there just to have a good time with your friends, it doesn't matter what you do. But if you're there to really think about your game, what you do between shots is very important. There's a couple things I noticed as I transitioned into having the Stewart cart. I was able to enter a kind of meditative, calm state that was very pleasant in between shots. I wasn't concerned about pushing things and tugging at things, and I was able to sort of walk with a sense of freedom and focus on a walking meditation. Aside from the sense of relaxation, peace, and sense of gratitude for being here, is having the remote cart. I can just feel, and I breathe out, my shoulders relaxed, which I don't have when I'm carrying or pushing things. And I know that a lot of golfers, I see them with tension. Their shoulders are up and there's tension here. And then, yes, you can relax yourself when you approach the golf ball, but it's nice to be able to sort of get that out of the way while you're walking. I started off playing lots of charity scramble events where you had to play in carts. Played at some great golf courses. I hardly remembered the golf course, especially on days when it's cart paths only. So I went from there to carrying my clubs. Well, I was getting a little older, and carrying a full set of clubs I could do it. There's days my back wouldn't feel so great doing it. So I said, well, I'll get a push cart. And then one day I saw people with these remote carts. It seems like really interesting. I asked around. I'm one of these obsessive consumers. How do I decide, what cart I'm going to buy? And I met someone who I respected a lot and did a lot of homework, and he suggested a Stewart cart, and I figured, hey, if he's done all the research on this, and I know how deeply this guy's involved in his research and due diligence in buying products, that was good enough for me. So yeah, it was a little more expensive than some of the competitors, but that didn't bother me because I'd rather have something that's going to last for a while and not break down as well. There was a little bit of a transition period. There were 3 or 4 rounds where I had to get comfortable with pushing the buttons and becoming one with that, but I got through that pretty easily. And then all of a sudden I found this new era of liberation. I was like getting back in touch with the rhythm and flow of the golf course in a way that was quite beautiful and interesting to be part of.